Hello, fellow humans. My name is Dorothy Laxton, and this is Fostering Untethered Communication and Knowledge, an adventure in stimulating objective, critical thought, shining the spotlight through individual spectacles, putting it once again on the bigger picture and our parts in it. Searching for life beyond the lifestyles we North American urban dwellers have to choose to chase, encouraging all to participate in positive change. Good morning. It is Sunday, March 27th, 2022. My name is Dorothy, and this is very likely going to be the last recording I upload for a while because I'm losing my Wi-Fi. So I'm thinking a little bit more about it, and I was writing a Facebook post that I've decided I'm going to try to read. It is meandering. I meander as I muse. I'm going to make lots of references to capital letters. And who knows, maybe I'll just text in the text. We'll figure that out. But I really want to make this point because it's important what we're doing right now. Politically, like the laws that are being enacted and stuff. I really thought that we were trying to remove ideological indoctrination from our politics. I thought that was the point. I thought we were supposed to be removing these things and not allowing them to be controlled by group thought. I thought that was the point. So, on that note, I woke up this morning and went to YouTube because it's the last day I'm going to be able to do that for a while. And I found this poem called "What is a Woman?" It was there in my feed. I am concerned about this issue because it's dangerous, what we're legislating. And I really think that we have to rethink how we're addressing this with children. We have to rethink. We have to really take a good hard look at early childhood development and the appropriateness of some of the discussions that are being had, and maybe be grown-ups a little bit and say, maybe our liberties are not worth the cost of our children's minds. That's my main concern with all of this. What grown-ups do, grown-ups do. So there's this poem, the question, what is a woman, has been being bounced around an awful lot lately, and nobody seems to be able to answer it. And this mother of 5 boys decided to respond with a poem. And so I'm posting it on Facebook, and I've written the following response that I'm gonna... It's a little meandering. I do that when I muse, but that's me. That's my brain. Welcome to my brain. So I'm calling it Sunday Morning Sermon. I have to say, I've been finding this ideological debate, the conversation about what is a woman, as have many natural women, and this is in parenthesis and aside. Cis is not a label that I chose. It is an academic term developed in an ideological bubble that has been thrust upon us in, frankly, a tyrannical fashion. I find it all very offensive. Personal identity and politics should not be mixed. Is this not a church/state type issue? Was ideological indoctrination and imposition not what we have been trying to remove? For the record, by my 20th birthday, the end of 1992, I had addressed my own quote-unquote gender issues as the feminist deconstructors were tearing everything apart before our eyes. In parenthesis, I make the aside that they were ego-driven, amygdala-ruled fools who adopted, created, and displayed toxic masculinity. I determined more than a few things during conversations in the Absinthe Pub and Coffee Shop at York University. I learned far more through those experiences than I did in almost all of my classes. My sociology course was too big to be invaded and hijacked by misogyny seekers. I had to drop my poetry course. That was my core study, or supposed to be, because you can only tolerate watching a 70-year-old poet get verbally bullied by a trio of 19-year-old extreme feminists. It was painful. There was nothing I could do for the man, so I walked away. One of the things I determined was I didn't like being called a breeder, because although I am a very masculine woman, and again, I explored the whole notion that I could have possibly, had something go wrong. Maybe I should have been a male. I even got my hormones tested. Always been on the high side of normal for testosterone. These are real things. I'm not saying they're not real issues. However, they've been really convoluted with a lot of ideology, and people who genuinely experience gender dysphoria should be as offended as I, as somebody who chose to accept and love and learn how to live with the body I was given, despite ideological and psychological differences with stereotypes, which again was something I thought we were trying to abolish, not encode. I am really riffing off of this. As a very masculine woman, I've always found the determined, flagrant, and now ubiquitous vilification of men as abhorrent as I am currently finding the erasure of women. I have a lot of opinions that I've held to myself because, honestly, I believe that all of this deconstruction that has happened as a result of the explosion from feminist theories to gender theories, and we are talking about theories, people, and I think really people need to look up the word theory and understand that just because you use the word theory, it isn't necessarily scientific. And just because you use statistics doesn't necessarily mean that they're facts either. There's lots of things. And it's all ideology that's being indoctrinated and imposed in laws. This is dangerous stuff, people. It's dangerous. Most relevant to this particular issue, back in 1992, when I had actually started thinking about these things in 89, when my masculinity was starting to be brought to my attention by people. It wasn't something that I was naturally exploring. It was something that people were thrusting on me in my late teens, because this was the ideology that was being developed. And we're doing this to children now. Just remember that. Children who aren't, 18 to 20-year-olds who have all of their cognitive processes. And, adults. This is adult conversation. I determined that what we were actually discussing as gender and assigning stereotypical and, really just encoding the stereotypes that we were supposed to be abolishing. I believe we're all gender fluid. None of us is 100% male or 100% female. We are all born with nipples. We all start off XX, and some of us lose a leg and become a Y. I believe we're all gender fluid. It's even biblically sourced. Okay, Genesis 1:27. Male and female created he them. Man, humankind. We have to remember we're all human people. I'm going to keep this recording to just the 10 minutes that I get when I record. I'm going to thank you all for listening. Just think about it. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. Just stop listening to all the white noise and think about it. And remember, we're all human and we all deserve to be allowed our experience. Thank you very much for listening.